Guess who just realized that you can full screen on FireAlpaca? I swear I couldn't do this before. So this is the second video on brushes. We're going to be focusing on custom brushes, how to make them or how to save them, all that good stuff. So there's two buttons down here. Let me bring this up for you. There's two buttons right here that have to do with customizing brushes. I accidentally pressed that. The second brush here is Add Script, and to be completely honest, I don't know how to use that. I never use it. But when it comes to making my own brush or downloading one that I found on the internet, I use the second button right here, which is the Add Brush. So you can either make your own brush or you can download them online. For downloading brushes online, you can find them anywhere such as DeviantArt or Tumblr. I'll leave a link in the description to my art reference blog. There's a tag there. It's just called brushes, but it's mostly FireAlpaca brushes, so I'll leave that link there and you can check those out, find any that you like. But for right now, I'm going to talk about making your own brush. So to make your own brush, usually you start with a very small canvas. I would recommend 100 by 100 pixels. So I'm going to use that right now. Most brushes that I download use these dimensions. I don't know if it looks any different if you use it any smaller or bigger. So I'm just going to make just a very random brush. You can use just random brush strokes. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go with this because why not? Create your own little thing. It could be just a scribble. It can be a picture because you can actually make pattern brushes too, but we'll get to that later. So here's going to be my scribble. And you're going to save it as a PNG because then the background will continue to be transparent. Don't save it as a JPEG. So I'm just going to title this brush 1. Then after you have your brush saved, I guess, you're going to click the second button, which is the add brush. You're going to find it. Let me go here. And then this little thing will pop up, this little window that will say edit brush. Change of plans. We cannot record on full screen because my computer broke. So continuing on, this window will pop up, the edit brush window. You can name it. I'm not going to name mine because I have no name for it. We're going to talk about type later. Width is that. This doesn't really matter, I don't think, because this ends up changing when you change the size over here. So if I change it to 16 and double click it, it's at 17? Yeah, there we go. For some reason it's like 1 pixel more, but whatever. So the min width. This thing shows you, I feel like it's connected with the size by pressure thing. So it kind of shows you how small the edges would be, if that makes any sense. So if I put it to the smallest, look how tiny that is over here. Compared to the biggest, it doesn't really change size. Size by pressure is pretty much what that sounds like, which is like the harder you press onto your tablet, the bigger it'll be, and the lighter, the smaller it would get. Opacity by pressure just means that the harder you press onto your tablet, the more it shows, whereas the lighter, it's way more transparent. I like it, there we go. Brush spacing is pretty much, there we go. That looks like a really shaggy eyebrow. But that pretty much is the spacing between the brush strokes. So if I kept it like this, and I drew, let me use red because that's my favorite. That looks very strange. It looks like a caterpillar. That's a caterpillar. That's like a worm. There we go. Anyways, but yeah, if you did it way like more spacing, then it'll turn out like that. That's actually kind of cool too. That would be really good for like backgrounds and what is it called? Those kind of shading techniques. I forget what they're called. Nobody cares. Rotate pretty much just rotates the brush strokes. Let me put a little more. So see how there it's kind of like a little more randomized, whereas if I unclicked it, it's a little neater. It doesn't really change the angle. So it's a little different right there. Random rotate is, it just scrambles it all up. So, like that. These actually look pretty cool. I like them. I don't know if I would keep it, but I like it. This one, I honestly have no idea. Apply foreground color. Oh. Okay, so apply foreground color means it just sticks to the color that you saved it in, I guess. I don't know. So the options for your custom brush depend on the type of brush you use. So this is pretty much just the default type, right? But you can use watercolor, you can use scatter, and all these different options will come up. I'm not going to go through every type just because it would take too long. You can try them all out on your own. The only type I will go through is the pattern, which I think is super, super cool. So it looks kind of weird in the preview, but let me just delete this right here. If I were to show you how it works, it's just like that. It's like, I don't know, it's cool. You kind of like uncover it, you know? It would go a lot faster if I had a bigger brush. There you go. And notice how none of it overlaps even when you overlap on your brush. I don't actually have any pattern brushes, so I think this is really cool to have. The polka dot isn't even considered a pattern, I don't think. Let me check. Yeah, the polka dot isn't even considered a pattern because it overlaps, but the pattern brush doesn't overlap at all. So a cool thing you can use with the pattern brush is you can draw like a little doodle. It could be something like this, or it could be like stars or clouds or whatever you want a pattern of. So I think that would be super cool to use. Well, that's all I had for this video. Hopefully it was able to help a couple of you out. Like I said, in the description I'll leave a link to where I keep all of the brushes that I've used or saved. All you have to do with those is save the brushes as a PNG, like I said, and just upload that with the second button, the add brush button, as I've showed you before, and it will be as easy as that. And they also give you their settings too, so make sure to follow those exactly to get what you want, or to get what they show you. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, you can give it a like. It feels so weird saying that, and and I post these videos weekly, so you can feel free to subscribe. It's all about digital art and or FireAlpaca. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know. I'm slowly running out of ideas, and I would really appreciate some suggestions. I already used that word. Alright, thank you so much. Bye!